3 weeks. 3 weeks since I'd heard my daughter's voice, and tonight I couldn't stand it anymore. The rain hammered my windshield as I pulled onto Emily's street, wipers screaming across the glass. Every call had gone to voicemail, every text left on read. My stomach had been twisted in knots for days, that mother's instinct screaming that something was wrong. I parked across the street, killed the engine. Her house sat in darkness, complete darkness. Not a single light on, not even the porch lamp she always left burning. The neighboring houses glowed warm and alive, but Emily's place looked like a tomb. I grabbed my phone, used the flashlight, and stepped out into the storm. The rain soaked through my coat in seconds, cold, biting. I didn't care. I was halfway up her driveway when I saw the figure on the porch. My heart stopped. An elderly woman stood there in the shadows, perfectly still, like she'd been waiting, Mrs. Chen, Emily's next-door neighbor. I'd met her once, maybe twice. Sweet woman. Brought over dumplings when Emily first moved in. But right now, in the flickering glow of that one working streetlight, she didn't look sweet. She looked terrified. "Mrs. Chen?" I called out, my voice barely cutting through the rain. She didn't answer. Just stood there, hands clasped together, staring at Emily's front door like it might explode. I climbed the porch steps, my shoes squelching. "What are you doing out here? It's past midnight." Her hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. I gasped. Her grip was iron, her fingers ice cold and trembling. "Don't go in," she whispered. The hair on the back of my neck stood up. "What?" "Please, don't go in there." Her eyes wide, wet with rain or tears, I couldn't tell, locked onto mine. She looked like she'd seen something that had shaken her to her core. "Mrs. Chen, that's my daughter in there. I haven't heard from her in weeks." "I know." Her voice cracked. "I know. But please, something is wrong in that house." My pulse hammered in my ears. "What do you mean something's wrong?" She glanced at the door, then back at me. Her lips trembled. "I hear things. At night, screaming, crying, and scratching. On the walls, on the doors." She squeezed my wrist tighter. 2 days ago, I saw her standing in the window upstairs. Just standing there, staring at nothing, for hours. My throat went dry. "Did you call the police?" I tried. She shook her head, tears spilling over. "They came, knocked." She answered, said she was fine, but I know what I heard. I gently pulled my wrist free, my mind racing. "I'm going in." "No. She's my daughter." Mrs. Chen stepped back, wrapping her arms around herself. She looked small, helpless. "Then God help you," she whispered. I turned to the door. My hand hovered over the doorknob. My key to Emily's place was on my keychain. She'd given it to me when she bought the house 2 years ago. "Just in case, Mom. For emergencies." This was an emergency. I slid the key into the lock. It turned with a soft click. The door creaked open. Darkness swallowed me whole. The smell hit me first. Stale air, rotting food, something sour and wrong. I fumbled for the light switch, flipped it. Nothing. Power was out. Or off. Or. I raised my phone, the flashlight beam cutting through the black, and my breath caught in my throat. The living room was destroyed. Furniture overturned, couch cushions ripped open, stuffing spilling out like guts. Picture frames shattered on the floor, glass everywhere. The coffee table on its side. Mail scattered across the carpet, dozens of unopened envelopes, some torn in half. "Emily?" My voice cracked. Silence. I stepped inside, glass crunching under my feet. My beam swept across the room. The walls, oh God, the walls were covered in something. Smears, dark streaks that looked like someone had dragged their hands across them over and over. And then I saw the front door. The inside of the front door. Scratches. Deep, gouging scratches. Dozens of them. Hundreds. Carved into the wood like someone had been clawing to get out. My hand flew to my mouth. "Emily!" I screamed. Nothing. I moved deeper into the house, my light shaking. The kitchen was worse, flies buzzing around plates of rotting food on the counter, the sink overflowing with dishes, a carton of milk on the floor, spilled and curdled into a rancid puddle. This wasn't my daughter. Emily was meticulous, organized. She meal prepped on Sundays and color-coded her calendar. This was chaos. This was madness. Emily, baby, where are you? My voice echoed through the house. And then, I heard it. A sound from upstairs. Slow, deliberate. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Like something heavy being dragged across the floor. My blood turned to ice. The sound stopped, then started again. Scrape, scrape, scrape. I stood frozen at the bottom of the stairs, my phone light aimed up into the darkness of the second floor. Every instinct screamed at me to run, to get out, to call the police. But that was my daughter up there. I put my foot on the first step. The wood groaned under my weight. The scraping stopped. And in the silence, I heard something else. Breathing. Heavy, ragged. Coming from the top of the stairs. Someone was up there. Watching me. Waiting. I need to tell you how this started. Because Emily wasn't always like this. 3 weeks ago, God. Only 3 weeks I was in my kitchen making coffee when my phone rang. Early morning. Sunlight streaming through the windows. Everything normal. Emily's name flashed on the screen. I smiled. Hit answer. Hey, honey. She was sobbing. Not crying. Sobbing. The kind of broken, gasping sounds that make your heart stop. Emily? Baby, what's wrong? He left. Her voice shattered on the words. Mom, he left me. I gripped the counter. What? Who left? David? She choked on a breath. He packed a bag last night, said he needed space, said he couldn't do this anymore, and he just walked out. He won't answer my calls. He won't. Okay, sweetheart, breathe. My mind raced. David, her husband of 4 years, the man who looked at her like she hung the moon. Did you two have a fight? No, that's the thing. We were fine, Mom. And then another sob. He said he was sorry. That's it, just sorry. And he left. My chest ached. Where are you right now? Home. I'm home. I don't know what to do. I'm coming over. No. Her voice turned sharp, fast. No, Mom, please. I need some space right now. I need to process this. I just wanted to hear your voice. I hesitated. Every fiber of my being screamed to get in the car and drive to her. But she was a grown woman. She'd asked for space. Are you sure? I'm sure, she sniffed. I'll call you in a few days, okay? I promise. Emily. I love you, Mom. The line went dead. I stood there in my sunny kitchen, phone in my hand, that sick feeling coiling in my gut. But I listened to her. I gave her space. Like a fool. Now, standing in this destroyed house with my flashlight cutting through the dark, I wanted to scream. She'd lied to me. She'd been falling apart, and I'd just let her. My beam swept across the living room again, took in every horrible detail, the overturned furniture, the shredded cushions, the chaos. I stepped over a broken lamp, moved toward the mantel. Photos, dozens of them, some still standing, most knocked over. I picked one up, Emily and David on their wedding day, both glowing, both so damn happy. The glass was cracked. I set it down, kept searching. Another photo, a vacation shot. Beach, sunset. Emily laughing, David's arm around her shoulders. I picked it up and froze. David's face was scratched out. Not torn, not smudged, scratched. Deep, violent gouges carved through the photo with something sharp. A key, maybe. Or a knife. His features were completely obliterated. My hands started shaking. I looked at the other photos, one by one, my light moving across them. Every single picture of David, scratched, destroyed. His face carved away like he'd never existed. But Emily's face was untouched. "What the hell happened to you?" I whispered. The house gave no answer. I moved into the kitchen, my stomach turning at the smell. Flies swarmed the counters. Plates of food left to rot, pasta covered in mold, fruit blackened and shriveled. A pizza box with slices still inside, green with decay. How long had she been living like this? I opened the fridge. Empty. Completely empty except for a half-dozen bottles of wine. 3 of them open, 1 tipped over. Red wine pooled at the bottom. My throat tightened. I checked the trash can. Overflowing. More wine bottles, takeout containers, pill bottles, sleeping pills, prescribed to Emily, dated 2 weeks ago. Nearly empty. Oh, baby. What did you do? I backed away from the counter, my light sweeping the floor. That's when I saw it. The basement door. Standing wide open. I'd walked right past it when I came in, too focused on the destruction in the living room. But now, in the beam of my flashlight, I could see it clearly. The door. Open. Just a black rectangle leading down into nothing. And on the floor. No. A trail. Dark, rust-colored. Smeared across the tile and disappearing down the basement stairs. Dried blood. My knees nearly gave out. Emily? My voice barely a whisper now. The house was silent. The scraping from upstairs had stopped. No more breathing, just nothing. But that blood led down. I took a step toward the basement door, then another. My phone light shaking so badly I could barely see. The stairs descended into pure darkness. The blood trail went down 3 steps before vanishing into the black. Emily, are you down there? Nothing. I put my foot on the first step. The wood creaked. And from somewhere deep in the basement, somewhere I couldn't see, I heard it. A voice. Weak. Broken. Whispering. Mom? Every instinct I had screamed at me to run. Call the police. Get out. Let someone else handle this. But that was my daughter's voice. Emily? I called down into the darkness. Baby, I'm coming. My foot found the second step, then the third. The basement stairs groaned under my weight, each creak echoing in the silence. The smell got worse as I descended. Damp, musty, and something else, something metallic and wrong that made my stomach heave. My phone's flashlight beam cut through the black, bouncing with every step. Emily, keep talking to me. Where are you? Silence. Emily! Down here. Her voice floated up, flat, emotionless, like she was reading from a script. I reached the bottom of the stairs and swept my light across the basement. And my blood turned to ice. The walls. Oh God, the walls. Every inch, every single inch was covered in photographs. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands, all of David. David smiling, David at work, David sleeping, David getting into his car, David at the grocery store. Some were normal photos, wedding pictures, vacation snapshots. But others looked like surveillance shots. Grainy, taken from a distance, through windows, across parking lots, like someone had been following him. Emily, what is this? My light found more. Printed text messages plastered between the photos, receipts, calendar pages with dates circled in red. String, actual red string connecting different pictures like some detective's conspiracy board. And in the center of it all, written directly on the concrete wall in what looked like black marker, he never left. He never left. He never left. Over and over, covering an entire section of wall. Mom. I spun around. Emily sat in the corner, cross-legged on the bare concrete floor, surrounded by candles, dozens of half-melted candles, creating a small circle of flickering light. She looked like a ghost. Her hair hung limp and greasy around her face. Dark circles carved shadows under her eyes. She'd lost weight, so much weight, her clothes hung off her like a child playing dress-up. But it was her eyes that broke me. Empty, hollow. Like all the light had been sucked out. Emily. I moved toward her, my voice shaking. Sweetheart, what's going on? She smiled. It wasn't her smile. It was wrong. stretched too tight. "I'm so glad you're here," she said softly. "I've been waiting for you." "Waiting, Emily? Have you been down here this whole time?" Someone had to keep looking. She gestured at the walls. At her shrine. Someone had to figure it out. My throat closed up. "Figure what out, baby?" "Where he's hiding." The words hit me like a punch. "Hiding? Emily, you said David left." "That's what he wants everyone to think." Her voice cracked, suddenly sharp. Manic. She scrambled to her feet, nearly knocking over the candles. "That's what he wants me to think. But I know better, Mom." She rushed to the wall, pressed her palm against a photo of David at a coffee shop. He left his wallet, his phone, his keys, everything. What man leaves everything? She spun to face me, her eyes wild now. "He's still here, in this house, playing some sick game, hiding from me." "Oh, Emily. Honey, people don't hide in their own houses for weeks." "I've searched everywhere." She grabbed my arm, her fingers digging in. "The attic, the crawl spaces. I tore apart the walls in the bedroom. I checked the garage, the shed, under every floorboard. He's here. I know he is." I looked down at her hands. They were covered in cuts, scratches, some fresh, some scabbed over. Her fingernails were torn and bloody. The scratches on the front door. She'd been trying to get out. Or keep something in. Or, "Emily, listen to me." I grabbed her shoulders, forced her to meet my eyes. "David isn't hiding in the house. He's not playing a game. Baby, I think you need help." "I'm not crazy." She shoved me away. Hard. I stumbled back, barely catching myself. "That's what the police said. That's what everyone says. But I hear him." She pointed at the ceiling. "At night, walking around upstairs, moving things. He whispers through the vents, tells me I'm worthless. Tells me he never loved me." Tears streamed down her face now. "He's tormenting me, Mom. He wants me to suffer, and no one believes me." My heart shattered. This wasn't grief. This wasn't anger. This was a breakdown. "Okay," I said softly, keeping my voice calm. "Okay, sweetheart. Let's go upstairs, get some fresh air, and we can talk about this. You don't believe me either." "I didn't say that." "You think I'm insane." Her voice dropped to a whisper, "just like everyone else." "Emily, no." "Then why don't you hear him?" She tilted her head, stared at the ceiling. And in the silence, in that horrible, suffocating silence, I heard it. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, directly above us. Walking across the first floor, my entire body went rigid. "Emily." My voice barely worked. "When I came in, was anyone else in the house?" She looked at me and smiled, that terrible, broken smile. "I told you," she whispered. "He never left." The footsteps stopped. We both stood frozen, staring at the ceiling like it might crack open. My heart hammered against my ribs. Every rational thought screamed that this was impossible. I'd been the only one to enter this house. I'd walked through every room upstairs. Hadn't I? "See?" Emily whispered. Her voice trembled with something between vindication and terror. "See, Mom? I'm not crazy." I grabbed her wrist, pulled her close. "How long has this been happening?" "Every night. For weeks." Her fingers clutched at my coat. "He walks around up there, opens doors, moves furniture." Sometimes her voice cracked. "Sometimes he stands at the top of the basement stairs. I can see his shadow, just standing there, watching me." Another footstep, then another. Something was walking toward the basement door. "We need to leave." I pulled Emily toward the stairs. "Right now." "No!" She yanked away from me. "No, don't you understand? This is what I've been waiting for. He can't hide anymore. You heard him. You heard him." "Emily, listen to me." "David!" She screamed it at the ceiling. "David! I know you're up there." "Stop. Come down here. Stop hiding, you coward." The footsteps stopped. Silence crashed over us like a wave. Emily's chest heaved. Her eyes were wild, feral. She looked like an animal backed into a corner. Baby, please. I reached for her again. Gentle, slow. Whoever's up there, it's not David. We need to call the police. The police think I'm insane. Then we leave. We get in my car and A door slammed upstairs. We both jumped. Then another sound. Dragging, heavy, like furniture being pushed across the floor. Emily's face lit up with manic energy. He's trying to block the door. He knows we know. She grabbed a flashlight from the floor, a big, heavy mag light. We have to go up there. We have to confront him. No, Emily, no. But she was already moving, racing up the stairs, taking them two at a time. Emily, wait! I chased after her, my phone clutched in my hand. My thumb found 911, ready to dial. She burst through the basement door into the kitchen. I stumbled out behind her, sweeping my light across the room. Empty. The dragging sound had stopped. The house had gone silent again. Emily spun in a circle, the maglite shaking in her grip. "Where are you?" she screamed. "Where are you?" "Emily, calm down." "Don't tell me to calm down." She whirled on me. Tears and snot ran down her face. You heard him, and now you're acting like I'm the problem, like I'm the one who's broken." "You're not broken." I stepped closer, hands raised. "But baby, you're not well. You need help. Real help. Let me take you somewhere safe." "I'm not leaving this house." Her scream echoed through the darkness. And then, quietly, from somewhere upstairs, a laugh. Low, male, mocking. Every hair on my body stood up. Emily's head snapped toward the stairs, leading to the second floor. "That's him." Her voice dropped to a deadly whisper. "That's his laugh." She started walking. "Emily, don't. I'm ending this, tonight." She climbed the stairs. I had no choice but to follow, my pulse roaring in my ears. The second-floor hallway stretched before us, dark, silent. Emily moved like a predator, the maglite raised like a weapon. "David." Her voice was eerily calm now. "I know you're up here. I know you've been watching me, torturing me." No response. We passed the bathroom, the guest room, both empty. Then we reached the master bedroom. The door stood open. Emily stopped in the doorway. I moved beside her, aimed my phone's light inside. The room was destroyed, worse than the living room. The mattress had been torn apart, springs exposed, clothes everywhere. The mirror over the dresser shattered. And the walls were covered in writing, black marker, red crayon, scratched directly into the paint. "Why did you leave me? Come back. I hate you. I love you. Where are you?" Over and over and over. But it was the window that made my stomach drop. Wide open, curtains billowing in the wind. And on the bed, arranged in a perfect, deliberate line, a cell phone, a wallet, a set of keys, a wedding ring, David's things. Emily made a sound, half sob, half gasp. She rushed to the bed, grabbed the phone. Her hands shook as she turned it on. It lit up, full battery. "Someone charged it," she whispered. "Someone's been keeping it charged." I stepped closer, looked at the wallet, the keys, the ring. They were clean, no dust, like they'd been placed there recently. "Tonight." "Emily." My voice came out strangled. "When did you last come in this room?" "This morning. These weren't here this morning." We stared at each other. Someone had been in this house. While Emily was in the basement, while I was downstairs, someone had been watching us. "We're leaving." I grabbed her arm. "Right now. We're going to my car. We're calling the police." "Wait." Emily's eyes fixed on something. "Wait, what's that?" She pointed to the bathroom door ajar, just a crack. Something white, paper, taped to the mirror inside. She pulled free from my grip and walked toward it. "Emily, don't." She pushed the door open and screamed. I rushed in behind her, my light sweeping across the mirror. A Polaroid photo, taped right at eye level. It showed Emily, asleep in bed, hair spread across the pillow, peaceful. Someone had been standing over her while she slept. close enough to touch. And written on the bottom, in neat block letters, yesterday. Emily's knees buckled. I caught her before she hit the floor. She clutched the photo, shaking violently. He was here. He was in here. While I was sleeping. I looked at the date. Yesterday. My mind raced. David had been gone for 3 weeks. The police had done a welfare check. The neighbors had heard screaming. But someone had been in this house yesterday. Taking photos. Watching. Who's doing this? Emily's voice broke. If it's not David, then who? I didn't have an answer. I pulled out my phone, finally dialed 911. It rang once. Twice. 911. What's your emergency? My phone buzzed. Hard. A text message. I pulled it away from my ear, looked at the screen. Unknown number. My blood went cold. Emily saw my face. What? What is it? I opened the message. 5 words. Tell your mother to leave. Emily grabbed the phone from my hands. Read it. Her face went white. That's David's number. Her voice barely a whisper. That's his number. Another buzz. A second message. This doesn't concern her. Yet. Emily's hands started shaking so badly she dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor. And from somewhere in the house, maybe downstairs, maybe closer, we heard a door close. Softly. Deliberately. Someone was still inside. Emily bolted. Before I could grab her, she was out of the bathroom, screaming his name like a woman possessed. David, David, I know it's you. Emily, stop. She tore down the hallway, throwing open doors, the guest room, the office, slamming them shut when she found nothing. Show yourself, you coward. I chased after her, my heart in my throat. She reached the stairs and started down. I grabbed her arm, spun her around. Emily, we need to go. Let me go, she ripped free, wild-eyed. He's here. He's been here this whole time, watching me fall apart, and I'm going to find him. A crash from the kitchen. We both froze. Emily's breath came in ragged gasps. Her whole body trembled. Kitchen, she whispered. Before I could stop her, she was moving again, down the stairs, into the darkness. I followed, my phone clutched like a weapon. We burst into the kitchen. The back door stood wide open. Wind howled through it, scattering papers across the floor. Rain poured in, pooling on the tile. Emily ran to it, looked out into the backyard. David! Nothing but darkness and rain. She stepped outside, onto the patio, barefoot, soaked in seconds. Emily, get back inside. He was just here. He was right here. She spun around, scanning the yard. Where did you go? Where did you go? I grabbed her shoulders, pulled her back into the house. She fought me, but she was weak, exhausted. 3 weeks of barely eating, barely sleeping. She collapsed against me, sobbing. He's real, Mom. He's real. You saw the messages, the photo. I'm not crazy. I know, baby. I know. I held her tight, my own tears mixing with the rain on my face. But we can't stay here. Whoever's doing this, we need help. She didn't fight me this time. I closed and locked the back door, then half carried her toward the front of the house. We were almost to the front door when Emily stopped. Wait. Emily, we need to. The attic. Her voice was hollow. I didn't check the attic tonight. What? She looked up at the ceiling, at the small attic access panel in the hallway above us. I check it every day, every single day. But tonight, I was in the basement when you came. Her eyes met mine. What if he's up there right now? A chill ran down my spine. The attic, the one place I hadn't thought about, the one place someone could hide and see everything below. Emily, even if someone's up there, we need to leave and let the police. No. Her voice hardened. No more running. No more waiting. I'm ending this. She walked to the hallway closet, pulled out a folding ladder. Emily, you can leave if you want, Mom. I won't blame you. She positioned the ladder under the attic panel, but I'm done being afraid in my own house. I watched her climb, watched my daughter, my baby girl, who used to be afraid of thunderstorms, reach up and push open the attic access. And I couldn't let her go alone. I followed her up. The attic was worse than I imagined. Low ceiling, exposed beams, insulation and dust everywhere. Our flashlights cut through the dark, revealing a space that stretched the length of the house. Boxes stacked in corners, old furniture covered in sheets, and in the center, oh my God, Emily's voice broke. A camping chair, sitting in the middle of the attic, facing a gap between the floorboards. A gap that looked directly down into the master bedroom. Next to the chair, empty food wrappers, water bottles, a blanket, a phone charger, plugged into an outlet I didn't even know was up here. Someone had been living up here. Watching. He's been watching me sleep. Emily's whole body shook. Every night, he's been right above me. I moved closer. Noticed something on the floor next to the chair. A notebook. I picked it up, opened it. Pages and pages of handwriting, dates, times, notes. March 3, 11:47 p.m. Mess. Subject asleep. No movement. March 4 to 2:13 a.m. Subject woke up, walked to bathroom, returned to bed. March 7 to 10:30 p.m. Sick. Subject crying. Called mother, did not answer. Subject. Not Emily. Not wife. Subject. This isn't David's handwriting. My voice came out strangled. Emily grabbed the notebook, flipped through it frantically. What? This isn't David. David writes in print. This is cursive. This is a footstep. Behind us. We whirled around. A figure stood at the attic entrance, silhouetted against the light from below. Too tall to be David. Too broad. Emily screamed. The figure lunged. I shoved Emily sideways, and we both crashed into a stack of boxes. The figure stumbled past us, and for a split second, our flashlights caught his face. Not David. A stranger. 30s maybe. Beard. Wild eyes. He grabbed for Emily, and I swung my phone like a club. It connected with his shoulder. He grunted, fell back. Go! I screamed. Emily scrambled for the ladder. I was right behind her. The man recovered fast. Faster than he should have. He grabbed my ankle as I reached the opening. I kicked. Hard. Caught him in the face. He let go with a howl. I practically fell through the opening, crashed onto the hallway floor. Emily pulled me up, and we ran. Down the hallway. Down the stairs. Behind us, the man dropped through the attic opening. I heard him hit the floor, heard him running. We burst out the front door. Mrs. Chen still stood on her porch, eyes wide. Call 911, I screamed at her. We ran to my car. I fumbled with the keys, hands shaking so badly I could barely get them in the ignition. The man appeared in the doorway of Emily's house. Just stood there, watching us. Not chasing, just watching. The engine roared to life. I threw it in reverse, tires screeching. As we peeled away, I looked in the rearview mirror. He was still standing there in the doorway. And then, slowly, deliberately, he waved. Emily saw it too. She made a sound I'll never forget. Part scream, part sob, part laugh. Who is that? She whispered. Who the hell is that? I didn't know. But I knew one thing. David hadn't left Emily. Someone had taken him. And they'd been playing with her ever since. My phone buzzed in the cup holder. Another text. Unknown number. I grabbed it at a red light, hands still shaking. One sentence. You should have listened to your neighbor. Attached was a photo of me and Emily, taken from inside my car, from the back seat, taken right now. I looked in the rearview mirror. The back seat was empty. But on the seat, placed carefully where someone had been sitting, was David's wedding ring. I swerved into a gas station parking lot. Slammed on the brakes so hard Emily's head snapped forward. What are you doing? She gasped. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. I pointed at the back seat. Emily turned, saw the ring sitting there on the leather. Her face went sheet white. That wasn't there before. Her voice barely a whisper. Mom, that wasn't there when we got in. My hands shook on the steering wheel. Someone had been in my car, in the back seat, while we were driving, while we were running for our lives. How? When? Get out. I fumbled for the door handle. Get out now. We stumbled out into the rain, putting distance between us and the car. I pulled Emily under the gas station awning, both of us soaking wet and shaking. She stared at the ring through the window. He's playing with us. Her voice cracked. Whoever that was, he's not trying to hide anymore. He's playing a game. I pulled out my phone, dialed 911 with trembling fingers. This time, I wouldn't hang up. The police arrived 15 minutes later. 2 officers, young, professional. They took our statement while standing in the rain, looking at my car like it might explode. So let me get this straight, the taller one said, pen poised over his notepad. You entered your daughter's home and found evidence of a break-in? Not a break-in. Someone's been living there, in the attic, watching her. I spoke fast, desperate. There's a chair, food wrappers, a notebook with surveillance notes. He attacked us. We barely got out. The officers exchanged a glance. That glance, the one that said, "Here we go again." "Ma'am, we responded to this address 2 days ago on a welfare check." The shorter officer's voice was gentle, too gentle. "Your daughter answered the door, said she was fine, no signs of distress. Because she didn't know he was living in her attic." Emily's voice rose, hysterical. "I thought I was going insane. I thought..." She choked on the words. "My husband disappeared 3 weeks ago, just vanished. And now someone's been watching me, terrorizing me." "Your husband, David Martinez?" The tall officer flipped back in his notes. "According to our records, he withdrew $5,000 from your joint account on March 1st. His phone last pinged near the state border 2 days later." Emily's face crumpled. "That's impossible. David wouldn't..." "Ma'am, I understand this is difficult." The officer's tone shifted. Professional, detached. "But in cases like these, when a spouse leaves and the remaining partner becomes distressed, sometimes the mind can..." "Are you saying I imagined him?" Emily's voice turned sharp. "I imagined the man in my attic? The notebook? My mother saw him too." "We'll send units to search the residence," the tall officer said. "But I need to ask, have either of you been drinking tonight? Any medications?" My blood boiled. "Are you seriously?" "I found sleeping pills in her kitchen," the shorter officer said quietly, reading from an earlier report. "Nearly empty bottle, prescribed 2 weeks ago, 30 pills." They were looking at Emily like she was a suspect, like she was the problem. "Check the attic," I said through gritted teeth. "Check the notebook. Run fingerprints. Do your job." The tall officer's jaw tightened. "We'll investigate thoroughly, ma'am. In the meantime, I'd recommend your daughter speak with someone, a counselor. We have resources." "I don't need resources," Emily screamed. "I need you to listen to me." "Ma'am, calm down." "Don't tell me to calm down. My husband is missing and someone has been living in my house." "Emily," I grabbed her shoulders. She was spiraling, breaking down right there in the parking lot. "Baby, stop. Just stop." She collapsed against me, sobbing. The officers watched with pity in their eyes. Pity, not belief. They didn't believe us. An hour later, they'd searched Emily's house. Found the attic setup, the chair, the food wrappers. No notebook. It was gone. "Someone must have taken it," I insisted. "When we ran, he went back and..." "Ma'am, we found no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints other than your daughter's and her husband's." The tall officer looked tired. "The items in the attic could have been there for months, could be from when they moved in. Or what?" Emily's voice was hollow now, empty. "Or your daughter could have placed them there herself." The words hung in the air like poison. Emily laughed. Not a real laugh, a broken, jagged sound that made my chest ache. "You think I did this? You think I'm staging all of this? We think you're going through a very difficult time. Get out." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Get out of my house." "Ma'am." "Get out." The officers left. Gave us their cards. said to call if we remembered anything else, or if Emily felt unsafe. Like she was the danger. Like she was the one we needed to be afraid of. We sat in my car in silence. The ring still on the back seat. Bagged as evidence now, but they'd left it for us to see. They don't believe me, Emily whispered. Nobody believes me. I believe you. She looked at me. Really looked at me. Do you? Or do you think I'm crazy too? You're not crazy. Then what's happening to me, Mom? Tears streamed down her face. Where's David? Who was that man? Why is this happening? I didn't have answers. But sitting there in the dark, staring at that ring, something clicked in my brain. The $5,000, the phone pinging near the state border. Someone had planned this. Someone had made David disappear, made it look like he left willingly. And then they'd stayed behind to torture Emily. But why? Emily. I turned to face her. Did David have any enemies? Anyone at work who didn't like him? No. Everyone loved David. He was... She stopped, frowned. Wait. What? A few months ago, he started acting strange, paranoid. She wiped her eyes, thinking. He kept saying someone was following him, watching him. He installed security cameras, changed all our passwords. My pulse quickened. Did he say who? No. But he started going through his files from work, spreadsheets, financial records. He stayed up late, checking numbers over and over. Her eyes widened. He said something wasn't adding up, that someone at his company was... Her phone buzzed. We both jumped. She pulled it out with shaking hands. Unknown number. A text message. You're getting warmer. Another buzz. An attachment loaded. A video file. Emily's finger hovered over it, trembling. Don't, I said. Don't open it. But she did. The video started playing. Dark room. Concrete floor. Someone tied to a chair. The camera moved closer. Emily's hand flew to her mouth. No. No, 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 no. David. Gagged, blindfolded, alive. Bruised and bloody, but alive. The video was time-stamped. Today, 2 hours ago. A voice spoke off camera. Distorted. Mechanical. Stop digging, stop talking, or he dies. The video cut off. Emily screamed. A raw, animal sound that tore through the night. She tried to call the number back. It went straight to a dead tone. He's alive. She grabbed my arms, eyes wild. Mom, he's alive. David didn't leave me. Someone took him. Someone's been keeping him this whole time. My mind raced. The man in the attic. The surveillance. The messages. This wasn't random. This was planned. Calculated. Someone wanted David silenced. And they were using Emily to keep him in line. We need to figure out what David found, I said. Whatever he was investigating at work, that's the key. His office. He has files. Flash drives. Emily was already moving, reaching for the door handle. Everything's in his office at the house. We can't go back there. I have to. Emily, listen to me. I gripped her shoulders. Whoever's doing this, they're watching. They've been in your house, in my car. If we go back now, they'll know. Then what do we do? I looked at her. Really looked at her. My daughter, my baby girl. 3 weeks ago, her world had fallen apart. And I'd let her suffer alone. Not anymore. We fight back, I said. Her phone buzzed again. Another message. I know what you're thinking. Don't. And then. Your mother should go home now, while she still can. Emily showed me the screen. And I realized with cold, creeping horror, they were listening. They'd heard every word we'd said in this car. I grabbed Emily's phone and threw it out the window. It clattered across the wet pavement, screen cracking against the curb. Mom, what are you? They're listening, tracking us. I pulled out my own phone, powered it off completely. We can't trust our phones. We can't trust anything. Emily stared at her broken phone in the rain. How long have they been listening? I don't know. Days. Weeks. My hands clenched the steering wheel. But they're not listening anymore. I started the engine. Where are we going? Your house. But you just said. They want us to stay away, which means there's something there, something they don't want us to find. I pulled out of the parking lot. We're going back, right now, before they can clean it up. Emily's eyes hardened. David's files. David's files. We parked 3 houses down, killed the lights. Emily's house sat dark and silent. No police cars, no movement. Mrs. Chen's porch light was off now. Everyone asleep. Good. We go in fast, I whispered. Get the files and get out. 10 minutes maximum. Emily nodded. We approached through the backyard. The back door still hung open from earlier. I'd never locked it after the stranger escaped. Sloppy police work. Or maybe they just didn't care. We slipped inside. No flashlights this time. Too obvious. We used the faint glow from the streetlights outside to navigate. The house felt different now. Empty, dead. Like whatever presence had been watching was gone. For now. His office, Emily whispered. Upstairs. We crept up the stairs, every creak making my heart jump. The office door stood open. David's space. Neat. Organized. Everything Emily said he was. Until you looked closer. Papers scattered across the desk. File drawers hanging open. Like someone had searched it already. They've been here, Emily breathed. Then we look harder. We tore through the room. Desk drawers, filing cabinet, bookshelves, financial statements, tax returns, pay stubs, all normal. There has to be something, Emily muttered, pulling books off shelves. He was obsessed. He barely slept. He found something. I checked the computer. Password protected. What's his password? I don't know. He changed it. Said it was safer if I didn't. She stopped. Her face went pale. Oh God, he was protecting me. He didn't want me to know because if they came after him, they'd come after you, I finished. We kept searching. Nothing. 10 minutes turned to 15, then 20. It's not here, Emily said, defeated. They took everything. I sat down in David's chair, trying to think like him. He was smart, careful. If he'd found something dangerous, he wouldn't just leave it in an obvious place. Where would he hide it? My eyes scanned the room, landed on a picture frame on the desk. Their wedding photo. The one photo in this whole house that hadn't been destroyed. I picked it up. Too heavy. I turned it over, popped the back off. A flash drive fell into my palm. Emily. She rushed over, saw what I was holding. Oh my God. I pocketed the drive. Let's go. We made it halfway down the stairs when we heard it. A car door. Outside. We froze. Footsteps on the front walk. Multiple people. Back door, I hissed. We ran through the kitchen, but stopped dead. Another car in the back alley. Headlights on. We were boxed in. Attic, Emily whispered. We raced back upstairs, pulled down the ladder, climbed up just as we heard the front door open. Men's voices. Low. Professional. Check every room. Make sure they didn't leave anything behind. Not police. Someone else. We crouched in the darkness of the attic, barely breathing. Flashlight beams swept through the house below. Methodical. Thorough. Office is clear. Looks like someone was here, though. Damn it. Search the car. Check the neighbor's place. They can't have gone far. Emily's hand found mine in the dark, squeezed tight. We waited. 5 minutes. 10. 15. Finally, the voices retreated. Car doors slammed. Engines started. Silence. We waited 5 more minutes before climbing down. We can't use your car, Emily whispered. They'll be watching it. She was right. Mrs. Chen, I said. We wake her up. Use her phone. Call someone we trust. We slipped out the back door, cut through the yards. Mrs. Chen answered after the 3rd knock, eyes wide with fear. Please, I said, we need help. She pulled us inside without a word. Her kitchen smelled like jasmine tea and old flowers. She made us sit, brought us towels, didn't ask questions until we were dry. My husband had car, she said in halting English. In garage. He passed 3 year ago. I never drive. You take. Mrs. Chen. Take. Her eyes were firm. I see what happened to your daughter. I hear her crying at night. No one listen. No one help. She pressed keys into my hand. You help her now. Emily started crying. Mrs. Chen hugged her like a grandmother would. You good girl. I know. I watch you long time. You not crazy. She pulled back, looked at both of us. You be careful. Bad men. Very bad men. How did you know? I asked. I see them. Watching house. Watching you. She pointed to her window. I call police. They say I'm old. I'm confused. But I know what I see. She handed me her cell phone. Call who you trust. Then go. Fast. We drove Mrs. Chen's ancient Honda through the dark streets. I didn't know where we were going. Just away. Emily sat silent in the passenger seat, staring at the flash drive in her hands. What do you think is on it? She finally asked. Whatever got David taken. What if it gets us killed too? I looked at her. Then we make sure it was worth it. We drove to the only place I could think of. The public library. Opens at 6 a.m. It was 4:30 now. We'd wait in the parking lot, use their computers, see what David had found. And then we'd decide what to do. Emily leaned her head against the window. Mom? Yeah, baby? Thank you for believing me. My throat tightened. Always. We sat in silence as the sky started to lighten. At exactly 5:47 a.m., my dead phone, still powered off in my pocket, vibrated. We both felt it. I pulled it out slowly. The screen was black. Off. But it vibrated again. A message appeared on the dead screen. Impossible. Ghostly white text on black. Nice try. But you can't hide from us. We know where you are. We've always known. The phone went dead again. And in the rearview mirror, I saw them. 3 black cars. Pulling into the parking lot behind us. Blocking us in. Drive! Emily screamed. I slammed the car into reverse, tires squealing. The black cars moved to block us, but Mrs. Chen's old Honda was smaller, nimble. I cut the wheel hard, jumped the curb, and tore across the empty library lawn. Behind us, headlights flooded the darkness. They were following. Hold on. I flew back onto the street, ran a red light, took a hard left. The Honda's engine screamed in protest. They're still behind us. Emily twisted in her seat. Mom, they're... One of the cars pulled alongside us. The passenger window rolled down. I saw the gun. Down. I slammed on the brakes. The car shot past us. I cranked the wheel right down a narrow alley between buildings. Too narrow for their bigger cars. We shot out the other side, back onto main roads. Are they... I don't know, just... My phone rang. The dead phone that shouldn't work. It rang and rang, vibrating in the cup holder. Emily grabbed it, hands shaking. Don't answer it, I said. It's not even on, Mom. How is it? The ringing stopped. A voicemail notification appeared. Emily's finger hovered over it. Don't. She played it anyway. A voice. Calm. Male. Professional. Mrs. Martinez, we don't want to hurt you. We don't want to hurt your mother. But you have something that belongs to us. Pull over. Hand over the drive. Walk away. You'll never hear from us again. You have my word. Silence. Then, you have 60 seconds to decide. After that, we stop being nice. The message ended. Emily looked at the flash drive in her lap. What if we just give it to them? Her voice cracked. What if we just... They'll kill us anyway, I said. They've seen our faces. We know too much. But David is already dead or will be soon, whether we give them this or not. The words came out harsher than I meant. Emily flinched like I'd slapped her. You don't know that. Baby, think about it. Why would they keep him alive if they get what they want? He's a witness, a liability. I took a shaking breath. Our only leverage is what's on that drive. We give it up, we have nothing. Tears streamed down her face. So what do we do? I looked at the dashboard clock. 5:53 a.m. 40 seconds left, according to their timeline. We go public, I said. We find out what's on that drive and we blast it everywhere. News stations, social media, email it to every journalist we can find, make it impossible to bury. In 40 seconds? No, but we can try. I pulled into a 24-hour copy shop, one of those print and ship places. We ran inside. A bored teenager at the counter looked up from his phone. We need a computer. Now. I slapped cash on the counter. And we need to use your phone. Lady, we don't just... Please. Emily's voice broke. Please, someone's trying to kill us. The kid's eyes went wide. He looked at us soaking wet, terrified, desperate, and nodded. Back room. Go. We huddled around the computer. I jammed the flash drive into the USB port. Files loaded. Spreadsheets, dozens of them. Financial records from David's company, Meridian Financial Group. Emily scrolled frantically. What are we looking for? Anything. Everything. I grabbed the kid's phone, started filming the screen. Evidence. Proof. Insurance. The spreadsheets showed transactions, millions of dollars, moving through shell companies, offshore accounts. Money laundering, I breathed. David found money laundering. But who? Emily clicked on a PDF file. A list of names. Company executives, board members. And next to each name, amounts, payments, bribes. At the top of the list, in bold, Detective James Morrison, $50,000 monthly. My blood ran cold. The detective who came to your house, I whispered. Emily scrolled down. More names, local politicians, a judge, 3 more police officers. Oh my God, Emily breathed. They own the whole system. A note at the bottom of the file. If anything happens to me, this is why, David. Emily's hand covered her mouth. Footsteps behind us. We spun around. The teenager stood in the doorway, face pale. There's guys outside, in suits. They're asking about you. My heart stopped. Back door? Loading dock. But we were already moving. I pulled the flash drive, shoved it in my pocket, still filming on the phone. We ran through the back, burst through the loading dock door, and stopped. A man stood there. Tall. 50s. Expensive suit. Alone. He raised his hand slowly. Please, don't run. I pushed Emily behind me. Stay back. Mrs. Martinez, I'm not here to hurt you. His voice was calm, reasonable. My name is Robert Chen. I worked with your husband. Liar, Emily spat. David never mentioned you. Because he was protecting you. Robert took a slow step forward. I'm the one who helped him compile that evidence. I'm the one who told him to run. Why should we believe you? Because if I wanted you dead, you'd already be dead. He glanced over his shoulder. But the men in those cars? They're not here to talk. We have maybe 2 minutes before they breach the building. I studied his face. Tired eyes, genuine fear. He was telling the truth. Or a very good liar. Where's David? Emily's voice shook. Where's my husband? Robert's face fell. I don't know. He contacted me 3 weeks ago, said he was going dark, said if anything happened to him, I should find you, get you the evidence, make sure someone outside the system saw it. So he is alive, Emily breathed. I don't know. Robert's voice was gentle. I hope so. But the people we're dealing with... Glass shattered inside the building. Shouts. They were inside. Come with me, Robert said. Right now, I have a car 2 blocks away, a safe house. We get you there, we upload everything, and we burn these bastards to the ground. How do we know you're not? You don't. He looked me dead in the eye. But you're out of options. Footsteps pounded toward us from inside. Emily grabbed my hand. Mom, we have to trust someone. I looked at Robert. At my daughter. At the door, where armed men would appear any second. Fine, let's go. We ran. Robert led us through alleys, between buildings. My lungs burned, my legs screamed. Behind us, shouts. Orders being barked. We reached a parking garage. Robert's car, a nondescript sedan. We piled in. He floored it. We burst out onto the street just as the black cars appeared behind us. "Hold on," Robert muttered. He drove like he'd done this before. Sharp turns, sudden stops, doubling back. Professional. After 10 minutes of chaos, he pulled into an underground parking structure. Killed the engine. We sat in silence, breathing hard. "Are they?" Emily started. "Gone. For now." Robert turned to face us. "But they'll find us eventually. They always do. We need to move fast." He handed me a laptop from the back seat. "Upload everything. Every news outlet you can think of. FBI tip line. Send it to lawyers, journalists, politicians you trust. Flood the system so they can't suppress it." I took the laptop, looked at Emily. She nodded. I started typing. Email after email. Attachment after attachment. The spreadsheets, the names, the evidence of corruption that went all the way to the top. Send. 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 "How many people did they kill to keep this quiet?" I asked. Robert's jaw tightened. "4 that I know of. Maybe more." "And David?" He met Emily's eyes. "If he's smart, he stayed hidden. If he tried to be a hero, he didn't finish." Emily's phone, the kid's phone I'd been filming with, buzzed. A text. "Unknown number. You just made a very big mistake." Another buzz. A video file. Emily opened it with shaking hands. The same dark room, the same chair. But David wasn't in it anymore. The chair was empty. Blood pooled on the concrete beneath it. And in the corner, written on the wall in what looked like red paint, "Or blood. Your mother killed him." Emily's scream shattered the silence. Emily couldn't breathe. She clutched the phone, staring at that empty chair, that blood, those words. "No, no, this isn't real. This is fake. They're trying to—" "It's manipulation," Robert said quickly. "Classic intimidation tactic. Make you think he's dead so you'll give up." "You don't know that." Emily's scream echoed in the parking garage. "You don't know anything. You said you'd help us, and now." She collapsed against the door, sobbing. I pulled her into my arms, my own tears falling. "I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. You were right. We should have given them the drive. We should have—" "No." My voice came out harder than I meant. "No. They would have killed him anyway. They would have killed all of us." "You don't know that." "Yes, I do." I grabbed her shoulders, forced her to look at me. "Because men like this don't leave witnesses. Ever. Our only chance, David's only chance, is to expose them so completely they can't move against us without proving everything we've said. But if he's already dead, then we make sure it meant something." The words tasted like ash in my mouth. Robert's phone rang. He answered, listened, his face darkening. "Understood." He hung up. "We have a problem. Someone leaked our location. We have maybe 5 minutes before they're here." "How?" I demanded. "How did they find us?" He looked at the phone in Emily's hands, the one I'd been using to film. "You're still connected to their network. The moment you texted, called, anything." I grabbed the phone and threw it out the window. "Too late." "We need to move," Robert said. "Now." "Where?" Emily's voice was hollow. "Where can we go that they won't find us?" Robert started the engine. "Somewhere public. Somewhere they can't make a move without witnesses." He pulled out of the parking spot. "And somewhere with enough firepower to protect you." "The police station?" I asked. "Half the department is on their payroll." He shook his head. "No, somewhere better." He drove fast, checking mirrors constantly. 10 minutes later, we pulled up to a federal building. FBI field office. "You're kidding," Emily breathed. "I sent them everything an hour ago," Robert said. "Anonymous tip. Financial Crimes Division. If they're doing their job, they're already reviewing the evidence." We walked through the front doors. Security guards, metal detectors, cameras everywhere. Safe. For now. Robert approached the front desk, showed credentials. "I need to speak with Agent Lisa Huang. Financial crimes. It's urgent. The receptionist made a call. 5 minutes later, a woman appeared. Early 40s, sharp eyes, no-nonsense expression. Robert Chen. She didn't look happy. You've got nerve showing up here after the dump you sent us at 3 a.m. It's all real, he said. Every word. And these women can verify it. Agent Huang's eyes shifted to us. You're Emily Martinez, David Martinez's wife. Emily nodded, unable to speak. And you filed a missing persons report 3 weeks ago that went nowhere. The detective assigned to the case is on the bribe list, I said. Detective Morrison, he's being paid $50,000 a month to make problems disappear. Agent Huang's expression didn't change. Come with me. She led us to an interrogation room. Not welcoming, not comfortable, but safe. Start from the beginning, she said. Don't leave anything out. We told her everything. David's disappearance, the stalking, the man in the attic, the video, the flash drive. She listened without interrupting, taking notes. When we finished, she sat back. This is one hell of a story. It's the truth, Emily said. I believe you. Agent Huang pulled out a tablet, showed us a photo. Is this the man who attacked you in the attic? The same face, the beard, the wild eyes. Yes, I breathed. Who is he? Marcus Webb, former private security, been working as muscle for hire for about 5 years. We've suspected him in 3 disappearances, but could never prove anything. She swiped to another photo. And this? Robert Chen, but in a police uniform. Wait, Emily said. You're a cop? Was, Robert corrected. 5 years ago. Before I realized how deep the corruption went, I went private, started consulting for companies doing internal investigations. That's how I met David. He brought me in when he found the discrepancies. Agent Huang nodded. Robert's been feeding us information for 2 years, but we've never had evidence this concrete. She looked at me. The files you sent, we've been trying to build a RICO case against Meridian Financial for months. This could be the break we need. What about David? Emily's voice cracked. What about my husband? Agent Huang's expression softened. I'm not going to lie to you, Mrs. Martinez. The video you received suggests. I don't care what it suggests. Emily stood, knocking her chair back. Until I see a body, he's alive, and you're going to help me find him. A long silence. Then Agent Huang nodded. All right. We'll assume he's alive and being held somewhere. Webb is our best lead if we can find him. We can find David. How do we find Webb? I asked. We don't. Agent Huang stood. You two stay here. Protective custody until we can round up Morrison and the others on that list. Let us handle Webb. No. Emily's voice was steel. I'm not sitting in a room while my husband dies. Mrs. Martinez. They've been using me as bait this whole time. Fine, let's use that. Emily looked at Robert, then at me, then back at Agent Huang. Let them think they've won. Let them think I'm giving up. Draw them out. Absolutely not, I said. Emily, you can't. Mom, it's the only way. Her eyes were clear now, determined. They want me broken, scared. Let's give them what they want. Agent Huang studied her. What did you have in mind? 2 hours later, we were back at Emily's house. Wired, monitored, FBI agents positioned around the neighborhood. The plan was simple. Emily would return home alone, make it look like she'd given up, lost hope. Wait for Webb to make contact. When he did, we'd have him. I watched from an FBI surveillance van 2 houses down. Every muscle in my body screamed to stop this. To grab Emily and run, and never look back. But she was right. This was the only way. Radio check, Agent Huang said into her mic. Martinez, can you hear me? Emily's voice came through, clear and strong. I hear you. Remember you're scared, defeated. Convince him you're no threat. Got it. I watched the monitor showing Emily's house. She walked inside, turned on lights, moved through the rooms like a ghost. Minutes passed. Nothing. Then, on the monitor, movement in the backyard. "We have contact," an agent's voice crackled. One subject, approaching from the rear. Marcus Webb. He tested the back door, found it unlocked just like we'd planned. Slipped inside. Emily was in the kitchen, back to the door, playing the role perfectly. Webb moved behind her, silent as death. "Hello, Emily." She spun around, gasped. Perfect fear, perfect surprise. "How? What are you? Where's your mother?" Webb's voice was calm, cold. "Gone. She left. Said she couldn't handle it anymore." Liar. He moved closer. Emily backed against the counter. "I swear, she's gone. I'm alone." "The flash drive, where is it?" "I don't have it anymore. The FBI, I gave them everything. It's over." Webb smiled. "Good. That makes this easier." He pulled out a knife. "Wait!" Emily's voice cracked. "Wait, please. I just want to know. Is David alive? Please. I need to know." Webb studied her. Then he laughed. "You really want to know?" "Yes. He's alive. For now." Webb tilted his head. "Begging for his life in a basement across town. Crying for you. It's pathetic, really." Relief flooded Emily's face. Real relief. Where is he?" "Like I'd tell you." Webb raised the knife. "But don't worry. You'll see him soon, in whatever comes after this." "Now!" Agent Huang's voice exploded through the radio. FBI agents crashed through every door. Webb spun, knife raised. 3 gunshots. He dropped. But as agents swarmed the house, Webb laughed. Blood bubbled on his lips. "Too late," he gasped. "Already too late." Emily dropped to her knees beside him. "Where is he? Where is David?" "Basement. But not for long." Webb's eyes rolled back. "Clock started when I walked in your door." His body went limp. Agent Huang grabbed Emily, pulled her back. "What does he mean, clock started?" Emily's face went white. "Oh God, it's a dead man's switch." She ran for the basement. We followed, my heart in my throat. The basement, Emily's shrine, was exactly as we'd left it. Except for one thing. A phone. Sitting in the center of the floor. Timer counting down on the screen. 4:37. 4:36. 4:35. And taped to it, a note. We had 4 minutes. Maybe less. "Industrial Way, where is that?" Emily screamed. Agent Huang was already on her radio. "Dispatch. I need units at 638 Industrial Way immediately. Possible hostage situation. Potential explosive device." "That's 20 minutes from here," an agent said. Emily's face crumpled. "We'll never make it in time." I grabbed her shoulders. "Yes, we will." Agent Huang was already moving. "Everyone in the van. Now." We ran. Piled into the surveillance van. Agent Huang took the wheel, another agent in passenger seat, gun drawn. Robert, Emily, and I crammed in the back. The van screamed out of the driveway, siren wailing. Agent Huang drove like the devil himself was chasing us. Blowing red lights, weaving through traffic, the engine roaring. I watched the clock on the dashboard. 3:47. 3:46. 3:45. "Faster," Emily whispered. "Please, faster." "I'm trying," Agent Huang gritted out. Robert pulled up a map on his phone. "Industrial Way, it's the old warehouse district. Half the buildings are abandoned. If David's in one of those basements, we'll find him," I said. I had to believe it. 2:58. 2:57. 2:56. "What happens when it hits 0? Emily asked, voice small. No one answered. Because we all knew. We screeched onto Industrial Way with 2 minutes left. A ghost street, abandoned warehouses, broken windows, graffiti. "There," Robert pointed. 638. A 3-story brick building, boarded windows, condemned sign on the door. Agent Huang slammed on the brakes. We burst out before the van fully stopped. "Backup is 3 minutes out," the other agent said. We don't have 3 minutes, Emily said. She ran for the door. Emily, wait. But she was already kicking it in. The door gave way with a crash. We flooded inside. Darkness, dust, the smell of decay. David! Emily's scream echoed through the empty space. No answer. Basement, I said. Webb said basement. We found the stairs. Concrete, descending into pure black. Agent Huang went first, flashlight and gun raised. 123, 122, 121. We took the stairs 2 at a time. Hit the basement level. A corridor, multiple doors, all closed. Split up, Agent Huang ordered. Check every room, fast. Emily and I took the left side. Robert and the other agent went right. First door empty. Second door storage, old furniture, nothing. 047, 046, 045. David. Emily's voice was raw. David, where are you? Third door. Locked. I threw my shoulder against it. Pain exploded. The door didn't budge. Emily joined me. We hit it together. Once, twice. The lock broke. The door flew open. And there he was. David. Tied to a chair in the center of a small concrete room. Blindfolded, gagged, covered in bruises and dried blood. But alive. David! Emily rushed to him. Ripped off the blindfold, the gag. He gasped, eyes wild, disoriented. Emily? Emily, is that? I'm here. I'm here, baby, I'm here. She sobbed as she worked on the ropes binding his wrists. I helped, my fingers shaking. 0, 18. 0, 17. 0, 16. We have to move, I said. Now. David tried to stand. His legs buckled. I can't feel my legs. Robert appeared in the doorway. Found him? Help me, I said. Robert and I grabbed David, hauled him up between us. Go, go, go! Agent Huang's voice from the hallway. We ran. Dragged David toward the stairs, Emily leading the way, crying and laughing at the same time. 07, 06, 05. Up the stairs, through the corridor, the warehouse floor stretching endlessly. 03, 02. The front door, right there. 01. We burst through into daylight. Ran across the street. Dove behind the van. 0. The explosion came from below. Underground, muffled by concrete and earth, but powerful enough to shake the ground beneath us, to crack windows, to send a plume of dust and debris shooting from the basement windows like the building was exhaling its last breath. We huddled together on the pavement, arms over our heads. When the rumbling stopped, I looked up. The warehouse still stood. But smoke poured from the lower windows. The building groaned, settling. Another minute, and the whole basement would have collapsed, with David in it. Emily clutched her husband, sobbing into his chest. He held her with shaking arms, whispering her name over and over. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I never wanted you to go through this. I tried to protect you. I tried. I know, she gasped. I know. It's over. You're safe. We're safe. I sat back against the van, my whole body trembling. Agent Huang stood, dusted herself off, started barking orders into her radio. We need fire rescue, bomb squad, and get me arrest warrants for everyone on that list. I want Morrison in custody within the hour. Robert sat beside me, breathing hard. You okay? No. I laughed. It came out half hysterical. But we're alive. You did good, he said quietly. Most people would have run, would have let the professionals handle it. But you, he shook his head. You're tougher than the men we just took down. I looked at Emily and David. My daughter, my son-in-law. Alive, together. I'm just a mother, I said. That's what we do. 3 weeks later, the story broke everywhere. Federal investigation into Meridian Financial. Dozens of arrests. Detective Morrison and 6 other officers in custody, politicians resigning, a judge impeached. David's evidence, our evidence, had blown the whole thing wide open. Webb's employers tried to bury it, tried to discredit us. But there were too many copies, too many people who'd seen the truth. They couldn't make it disappear. Not this time. I sat in Emily's kitchen, her new kitchen, in a new house across town. She'd refused to step foot in the old place ever again. I didn't blame her. David was in the living room, on the phone with his lawyer, still testifying, still helping the FBI build their case. Emily poured us both tea. Her hands didn't shake anymore. "How are you doing?" I asked. She smiled. A real smile. The first I'd seen in months. "Better. Therapy helps. David's helps." She looked toward the living room. "We're going to be okay, Mom. It'll take time, but we'll be okay." I squeezed her hand. "I know you will." She hesitated, then pulled something from her pocket. A letter, addressed to me. "What's this?" "From Mrs. Chen. She asked me to give it to you before she moved." "She moved?" "To live with her daughter in California. Said she'd seen enough excitement for one lifetime." Emily smiled. "But she wanted you to have this." I opened the letter. The handwriting was shaky but clear. "Dear friend, thank you for listening to Old Woman on Porch. Thank you for being brave when everyone say you crazy. Thank you for saving girl next door. I always believe mothers know. We see what others miss. We fight when others give up. You remind me of me, long time ago, when I was young and my family needed me to be strong. Be proud. You saved your daughter. You saved her husband. You are hero. Also, I never liked that house anyway. Too many ghosts. She is better in new place. With love and respect, Mrs. Chen. P.S. You keep my car. I too old to drive anyway. You need it more." I laughed through tears. Emily hugged me. "She's right, you know. You're a hero." "I'm not a hero. I'm just a mother," Emily finished. "I know. You keep saying that, but Mom." She pulled back, looked me in the eyes. "Being a mother is being a hero. Especially when everyone tells you you're wrong, when everyone tells you to give up, and you don't." I wiped my eyes. "I couldn't lose you." "You didn't." She squeezed my hands. "You saved me." That night, I drove home in Mrs. Chen's old Honda. My apartment felt quiet, safe. I made tea, sat by the window, watched the city lights. My phone buzzed. A news alert. Meridian Financial CEO arrested. Money laundering scheme exposed. I smiled, closed the phone, and realized something. For the first time in 3 weeks, maybe longer, I felt at peace. Not because it was over, but because I'd learned something about myself. I'd learned that a mother's love isn't soft or gentle when her children are threatened. It's sharp, it's fierce, it's relentless. I'd walked into darkness because my daughter needed me. And I'd do it again, 1,000 times over. Because that's what mothers do. We don't just protect our children when they're small. We protect them forever. Even when they're grown, even when it's dangerous, even when everyone says to stop. Especially then. I looked out at the city, sipped my tea, and smiled. Because somewhere out there, my daughter was safe. And that was all that mattered.